Brandon was a very happy man, married for 7 years to Mary. They had two children. Nancy was 2 years old and Paul was 5 years old. They lived happily in a beautiful big house in a small town in Florida. Brandon worked as a real estate broker, even though he had a structured family, financial success, and an excellent job. He wanted to increase his financial level. He had a dream of being the richest man in the world. Then one day Brandon had an idea. He was going to look for ways to increase his income by investing in cryptocurrencies. He was looking for good companies to make his investments grow. One day his friend Frank referred him to a company, and so Brandon invested 30% of all his assets in cryptocurrencies. Brandon's investments grew so fast that in just 3 months the amount he had invested doubled. He was very happy because he thought he had found the way to become the richest man in the world. As his investments were doing so well, Brandon decided to invest all his assets in the same cryptocurrency company in the hope of becoming the richest man in the world. The days went by and Brandon was scared and anxious because all the money he had invested had disappeared and he couldn't get any information about his investment. He was desperate because he had fallen for a scam. Brandon said, "Oh no, I've been cheated. I've lost all the assets I've earned with so much struggle and difficulty. What am I going to do now? How am I going to tell my wife and children?" Brandon was desperate because all the money he had invested had been lost, including the beautiful house he had, because he had also invested the house in cryptocurrencies. The day he decided to tell his wife the whole truth, he received the news that he had been fired from his excellent job as a real estate agent. Brandon got home and told his wife Mary the whole truth, and he was surprised by her reaction because she told him very calmly, "Listen, honey, we need to stop valuing what we don't have and be happier with what we do have. We've lost the money, but we have God by our side. We have a beautiful family and good health. The material goods we can win back. Don't worry, God will bless us and everything will work out. With God, we'll be able to turn this situation around." Brandon said, "It's true, dear. I made a serious mistake by valuing what we didn't have more than what we already had. I'm going to talk to God, ask him for forgiveness, and find the strength to start again." Brandon asked God for forgiveness and the strength to fight and start all over again. He no longer wanted to worry about being the richest man in the world. All he wanted was to have God in his life, to be happy with his family, and to have peace. He understood that a person's life does not consist of the amount of money or financial status they have, but that the only one who can make them truly happy and fulfilled is God. He also learned that he should value more what God had given him: family, health, a great job, and a beautiful home. Then Brandon said, "From now on, God is my priority. Then comes my family. Money or financial status will no longer be a priority in my life." Brandon started a new business with his family. They recorded podcasts to motivate people not to fall for scams like he had. They set out to share their stories so that other people could be helped. So they created an online business to provide financial advice so that people could invest their financial resources safely. A few months later, Brandon and his family were financially well again. They turned things around and thanked God very much because everything served to teach them that the most important thing in a human being's life is God, then family, and that it's also very important to value what you have and not want what you don't need.